Okay, so for the final exercise, we're looking at changing between chords where we've not got any common notes on the same fret or the same string. So we're going to be looking at leading with certain fingers. So I'm starting off with a C, and then I'm going to change to a G, and I'm going to lead up with my second finger to the note on string 6, the bass note, and then form the shape round that for G, and then I'm going to move to D, and I'm going to lead down again with my second finger onto string 1 and then form the shape around that. So I've got C, leading with my second finger to G, and then leading with my second finger again down to string 1 for D. So as before, you're going to play each chord once to start with. I'm going to count in 4s, and we're going to play the last chord D 2 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so after 4 then. So 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, change to G, 2, 3, change to D, 2, 3, and one more D, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so exactly the same again, and this time we're going to play each chord 4 times. So if you play along with me after 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3, 4 to G, 2, 3, 4 to D, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I'm not sure how easy or difficult you found those exercises, but I've just got a couple more areas that are worthwhile talking about, which will hopefully make your chord changes a little bit easier, a little bit more quickly. So firstly, if you push down any note on fret 1 in a chord shape, you'll probably find that you're going to have to put a little bit more effort in with your first finger, because the string is actually tighter on fret 1 as it is in comparison to frets 2 and 3, because the string is closer to the nut at the end of the neck, so there's just a little bit more tension in the string, so you've just got to put a bit more effort in. So for example, if I'm playing a C chord, my first finger just needs to push down a little bit harder, needs to pinch the strings a little bit harder than fingers 2 and 3. Or if I'm playing an E chord, the same applies, so finger 1 is on fret 1, so I've got to push down a little bit harder than fingers 2 and 3. Now, as we were talking about in the starter chord lesson, when you're playing chords, often you're using 3, sometimes 4 fingers, so you're essentially pushing down 3 times as hard in comparison to when you're playing single note riffs or melodies. So what you might find is that you have stamina issues, your fretting hand becomes more tired more quickly when you're playing chord sequences. Maybe over the course of 10-15 minutes you'll find that your chords sound fine to start with, but the sound deteriorates over that time. So at the end of the period you'll find that your chords are starting to sound a little bit ropey. So the best way to counteract this is hold your arm out straight and just pull your fingers back, not too tight, not too hard, just a little bit, just so that you can feel you're pulling out your tendons all the way down from your hand to your elbow. Give your hand a bit of a stretch out as well, and then you should be fine to carry on playing your chords for a little bit longer. And finally, when you're playing chords, when you're playing shapes, it's a good idea if you try and learn the shape as quickly as possible. So try and learn which shape goes with which name. So for example, the diagonal shape is always a C, and the big stretchy shape is always a G, and the triangular shape is always a D, for example. So if you can do this, then you can just take your attention away from the computer screen or music on a music stand or something like that, and you can just have a little look at your fretting hand, and this should hopefully help you to change chord between chords a little bit more easily. And the same applies to chord progressions as well. So if you can memorise a chord progression as quickly as possible, then you can focus on your fretting hand, and hopefully this will help you to change chords a little bit more smoothly, and each chord should sound a bit better, because it's going to be quite hard for you to start with to be able to just make the shape without looking at what you're doing, because there's a lot of fingers involved there.